So today's topic, actually, we've been talking about it already in the chat this morning, is defending trades, because I've had some questions about this. Obviously, this morning in the chat, we've had a couple of people ask about losing trades. I've had people message me on Discord, had some YouTube comments about defending trades. And one of the things is, as our community here grows, we got newer people trading, right? And, I sometimes forget that some of you guys haven't been around that long in trading, and you have questions: how to defend trades, how to defend a short put, how to defend a short call, a short strangle, put credit spread, iron condor. And it's not that difficult once you've seen it a few times. You got to get some experience with trading. But typically, let's say that I sell a 20 delta short put, and I'm using Apple as an example here. You sell a 20 delta short put in Apple, and Apple starts going down over the next couple of weeks. And one day you wake up and you're now staring at a 40 delta short put. And you're like, dang, that's bad. What should I do about that? Well, remember what delta is. Delta is the amount of money you win or lose for every dollar that Apple goes up in price. So, on a 20 delta short put, you were going to lose $20 every dollar Apple goes down, because it's going the direction against you. You'd win $20 if it went up, obviously. Now that it's a 40 delta put, it's twice as worse, right? If Apple goes down $1, you're losing $40 every dollar that Apple goes down. So you need to do something, right? You were comfortable with having 20 deltas on the position. You may not be comfortable having 40 deltas, or even worse, if it's already in the money, like a 57 delta, right? This is really losing money as Apple keeps going down, should Apple keep going down. So you have to defend it in some way. What is the defense? Well, the defense is always to lower the deltas. It's always about the deltas. If your 21 delta put is now a 41 delta put, and you want to get it back to a 21 delta put, what do you need to do? You need to get 20 short deltas. You need to sell a call, right? You need to go find some call that will get you, that 20 deltas or so of short deltas to offset the 41 long deltas here. In this case, we turn this into a strangle, right? So we go sell the 24 delta call against the 41 delta put. Now our total deltas on the trade are 16, right? So we started with like a 20 delta put. Now we're back to being similar, right? 16 deltas. So that gets you back into where you kind of started with, right? With those 16 long deltas now. And that really is the trick with every trade that you defend. If you had a call, let's say you started by selling a call. Maybe you sold the 20 delta call in Apple because you're bearish. Apple starts going up for a week or two. All of a sudden, your 20 delta call is now a 45 delta call. Too much risk now on the trade, right? You went from 20 deltas of risk to 45 deltas of risk. You've more than doubled the risk on the trade, right? You're losing more than twice as much money now as Apple keeps going up on the trade. This is a dangerous trade. You have to bring those deltas down. How do you bring the deltas down? Well, you need to add some long deltas. You need to go sell a put. In this case, I'm going to sell this 27 delta put for 27 long deltas against the 45 short deltas. And now I'm back to having a short delta position of short 18 deltas, which is where the original trade was. It was out here at the 19 delta, as it went against me. I had to do something. I had to sell a put to get the deltas back to where you want it. And that really is the key to any options trade, is pay attention to the delta. If you know that every time you sell a put, it's somewhere around 15 to 20 deltas, monitor your deltas, right? On the positions tab, I always take a look at my deltas so I know where I'm at on a trade. For example, if I go in MES, I know I always sell around a 10 delta short put at 90 days in MES. This group of 3 here, where are the deltas? 9 deltas. I know the trade's good. Hasn't really moved against me. Matter of fact, it may have moved in my favor a little bit. This group of 4 short puts are at the 8 deltas. And again, I know I always sell right around the 10 deltas. Sometimes, a delta or 2 above, but it's pretty much always a 10 delta. I know I'm at 8 deltas. The trade's been fine, right? So it is all about the deltas. So that's your short puts, your short calls. Short strangles are even easier. Why are short strangles even easier? It's because you already started with a built-in hedge. So let's imagine I sell a 1 standard deviation strangle. So a 16 delta put and around a 16 delta call. 15 deltas is as close as we'll get here in Apple. And now let's imagine Apple starts falling and starts threatening this short put. So one day I wake up and now I'm staring at something like this here, a 40 delta put and only a 5 delta call. Now remember the one standard deviation strangle, because I had 16 deltas on one side, right? And then 16 deltas on the other. One standard deviation, 16 delta put, 16 delta call, 0 deltas total, right? But now, because we're lopsided, right, the trade went against us, 40 long deltas against 5 short deltas. And now we have 35 long deltas on this trade. This is a very bullish trade at this point. This is not what we wanted if we started with a delta neutral strangle, right? We're now in a trade that was not anything like what we originally wanted. How do we get this back to being something closer to delta neutral? Well, you need to roll the put down and you need to roll the call down, right? You need to roll the call down substantially. You'll get a credit for rolling that 5 delta call, which was pretty much a max winner at that point. You need much more delta on the call. So roll it down. Let's roll it down to like a 24 delta. You'll probably get, well, I can tell you what they're being priced. I'll get another $3 of credit on that. And then I would use that $3 of credit to roll the put down to this delta here, 27 deltas. I end up in a 27 delta put, 24 delta call, pretty much delta neutral strangle. It's kind of a tight strangle because, yeah, it's just the nature of it. The trade was kind of going against you. You're not probably going to be able to get back out to a perfectly like a 16 delta strangle like you were in. You had to give up a little bit on each side, but this is fine. This gets you back at least to the delta neutral position you wanted to be in, meaning that now when Apple makes a move up or down $1 because you're delta neutral, you're barely losing any money on the trade now, where you were going to lose a lot of money in this here if Apple kept moving down, which was the move it had been making. That's why you ended up here. You know, you had 35 long deltas. That's going to hurt. Every dollar down is going to be $35 of loss. Every single dollar Apple goes down. Now you've made it to where you're back to being delta neutral. Now that next dollar move down doesn't really hurt you. You know, the next few dollars down really don't hurt you. Well, until, you know, obviously another $10, $15 down, then you're in more trouble. The put gets back to probably being at the money again. Well, you just keep rolling the call down. You keep rolling the call down. You keep adding short deltas to negate the long deltas, even if you have to eventually get into a straddle where the strikes are the same to get back to delta neutral. You'll keep fighting it, keep fighting it. Usually this takes a little time, right? This will happen over a few weeks as you have to roll. Every roll you do, by the way, every time you roll the call, you're getting credits. At some point, you're going to have a massive amount of credit on that strangle. You may have sold the 16 delta put and the 16 delta call originally. And let's say you got $1 for each. $1 on the put, $1 on the call, $2 credit total to start the trade. Then as things went against you, you had to roll the call down. Every time you rolled the call down, you got an extra credit. 50 cents here, another $1 here, another 75 cents here. You know, it gets to the point where you end up into the straddle and you may be looking at a total credit now on that trade of $6. Just throwing a number out there, right? Where originally you only wanted a $2 credit on a strangle. So what do? Well, at some point, enough time has passed where maybe you're down to like 30 days or less in the trade, and you just roll back out to the new trade. 60 days, you spend all of that credit, that extra credit, to roll the position back out to a new 60-day trade and back out to your one standard deviation strangle, and you just start with a brand new trade. It's like the first trade never happened. You know, all those credits and all that time that passed, you basically broke even on it, and you use all the credit that you accumulate to finally just open a new trade and start all over. That's how you defend a strangle. And I mentioned it's easier to defend the strangle than the naked put or the naked call by itself, is because you already had a credit on that side to start the trade, so you are already defending it a little bit. So that's defending naked puts, naked calls, naked strangles, and that's the same with all naked options trades. If we're talking about ratio spreads have a naked put or a naked call, depending on call ratio or put ratio. And how do you defend them? Well, if you have a put ratio that's going against you, sell a call against it. If you have a call ratio that's going against you, sell a put against it, right? It's to offset those deltas. And you just go and do the other side of the trade. Let's talk about credit spreads. Common trade would be something like putting on this put credit spread. In this example, I'm going to get a 115 credit. My max loss is 385. And let's imagine that, you know, at some point we're in the money a little bit. and I don't want to lose that 385, right? Well, what could I do here? Well, again, you need to offset what's going on the put side with something on the call side. You could go and sell a closer in call credit spread here, maybe 37 delta, and let's actually see what we would get on this. 168 credit on a max loss of 332. Maybe we even go a little closer in. Now I get a 210 credit on a max loss of 290, right? A risky trade if I was putting this on by itself, but because I'm just trying to defend this here, I don't mind it because technically I'm down more money on the put side. The put side is riskier. I actually want the stock to go back up. If it goes back up, I'm going to win 115 on the put credit spread. That's originally what I put it on. I'm going to lose 290 on the call credit spread. Overall, I'm going to lose 180 on the trade. Well, is that a defense, me losing 180? Well, if I had done nothing, right, what was my loss on the original put credit spread? It was 385, right? So I took a potential 385 loss down to a 180 loss by adding the call credit spread. Sometimes defending a trade is not necessarily about turning it into a winner. Sometimes is, can you make the loss smaller, right? And that is, in my book, sometimes more impressive than turning a loser into a winner. Is turning especially a big loser sometimes into a smaller loser, right? And sometimes that is the real trick on these trades. So that's how I would defend credit spreads. Put credit spreads, sell a call credit spread. Call credit spread, sell a put credit spread. Iron condors, you've already got both credit spreads on, and you only really have one play defending an iron condor. I'm going to put on this example iron condor. And let's imagine we wake up one day and this iron condor that was kind of a one standard deviation kind of iron condor looks something like this. Well, what do you do at this point? Well, this is already pretty much a max winner, the call credit spread side. Put credit spread side, of course, is in a lot of trouble. You're probably, because of the way you put these on, so far out of the money, you're looking at more than a $400 loss on the put credit spread side. You probably won 60, 70, 80 cents on the call credit spread side. Roll this into a new call credit spread. Just roll it right down into an iron fly. You're going to get a massive amount of credit to do an at the money call credit spread. You're $5 wide. You're basically risking $250 to make $250, but that's fine. You're defending a much bigger loss. You're going to lose more than $400 on this side, where you're going to add an extra $250 credit on only $250 risk on the call credit spread side. Again, it's just a way to make this loss much smaller should it happen, and it probably will happen, but you made the loss smaller. That's really the trick there. On the debit spreads, credit spreads, is just sell the other side of the trade. Iron condors, just turn it into an iron fly. Now, a lot of times on the defined risk trades, you just have to be prepared to take a loss, right? It's a defined risk trade. When you go into a credit spread or an iron condor, you know the max loss, just be prepared to take it should it happen. So a lot of times on credit spreads, I don't try to defend them because we know the probabilities. Typically I manage my trades, like my put credit spreads, I manage them at 50% max profit or 21 DTE, whichever one comes first. And if I happen to lose on the trade, I'm staring at a loss at 21 DTE. Well, I take it off for a small loss. If it's a big loss at 21 DTE, I just let it go to expiration and see what happens, because it's defined risk anyway. I was comfortable with the risk when I put on the trade. I should be comfortable just letting it go and see what happens. If you're not comfortable with the risk on any trade, here's the trick. Don't put on the trade. I see way too many people that, man, I'm in this trade and I'm in such deep duty now, right? What do I do? Well, you need to go into every trade knowing the risk on the trade. You need to have some realistic idea of what the risk is on a trade. For example, if I go and sell this strangle in Apple, let's put on this strangle. What's the risk on the trade? Well, the buying power reduction that the broker is having me put up is $2,500. The broker thinks $2,500 will cover 95% of the losses on this trade. That's why they chose that number. So realistically, you should think $2,500 is a realistic loss. Are you comfortable with that? If you are, if you're like, well, I can handle that if it goes against me because, pop on the trade, 70%, P50s, 90%, really high probability trade. But, say 1 to 2% of the time, you're going to suffer a sizable loss. It could be in that $2,500 range or a little more. Are you comfortable with that? If you are, put on the trade. If that is a loss to you, and you're like, man, I can't take that. That'd cripple my account. Don't put on the trade. So, just always think about the buying power reduction as a realistic loss. If you want to visualize it, go to the curve and analysis tool here in Tasty. And imagine that Apple, I like to imagine like a 20 to 30% down move, maybe especially on an earnings play. Let's imagine a 30% down move in Apple. It's currently trading at $250. So a 30% move's like, what, $75 up and down? If I went $75 down to the 175 mark, it's a gigantic move. This would be very unusual. It's more than a 2 standard deviation move, but it could happen, sure. And these things do happen. I'd be staring at a $4,300 loss on the put side. On the call side, I'm sure it's going to be very similar. So we go up to about 325, 4,700, right? It's very similar, right? You're going to be staring somewhere around a $4,000 to $5,000 loss on a pretty extreme kind of event, admittedly, but it's not impossible. These things do happen. I've seen them happen. I've seen them happen in my account. So just be prepared for it, right? And if you're comfortable with it, great. If there's no way you could ever take that kind of loss and recover from it, you absolutely cannot take that kind of trade. Don't be one of those people that just imagine, well, the probabilities are so good, it'll never go against me. No, that's when you blow up your account. That's when you get put out of the game, and you can't win the game if you get put out of the game.